Start recording. Okay, so this position is from the game Paulson versus Morpheus. Look at this game and see there is a very forceful solution. I mean, it is not that white does not have attack. White also has some attacking chances, and if bishop takes c6, etc., then it can.
Wait, did you say Paulson versus Murphy?
Yeah, it is Paulson versus Morpheus. But
Paulson, not Paulson.
Yeah, but Morphy kind of finishes it off in one.
Rook takes g2.
Yeah, check. Rook takes g2, and the key thing is that, see, it is not immediately apparent, but if you just think about it 1 minute or half a minute, then you get it. See, because now it is finished. King has to take it. King takes g2, and then what?
Queen h3.
Rook g1. Rook g8.
No,
queen h3. Queen h3. Sorry, queen h. Yeah.
Queen h3 check. If king goes to g1, then rook g1 is finishing it off. If king goes to f2, then
queen h2 check.
Queen h2 check, and forcing the king back into the wilderness with king to f3, and then rook to f1.
And then rook f8 check.
Rook f8. Sorry, rook f8, and it is all finished. Right? You can sacrifice the queen, but next move it is over. And there is no other chance. There is absolutely no chance. See, it is like again like that Widmar versus Zhu, right? There is absolutely no option for white to do anything different. He has to take it, and then it is a forced mate. Right? It was not so.
So what if king goes to d3 instead of f3?
When? See, king takes g2 now.
So then queen to h3.
Queen
then
h3.
King
f2.
Yes, sir.
And queen h2 check.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I'm a mistake.
You are not on e2. You are on f2. So you cannot go to e2, and you cannot put anything. So you have to come to f3, and then rook f8 is check. I mean, next move is mate. Right? So obviously Morphy is not going to miss anything like this. But if you look at this position, until you see the rook g2 is working, right, it is not very apparent. If you don't look at that rook g2, then it is not very apparent. It looks equally well balanced game. It looks, right? Fine. So what we will do is we will see the next one. Oh, this game, what happened is, I think what happened in this game is that white tried to force the issue. White thought that he is winning, but actually you have to be very careful. Okay, you have to be very careful. That is what is the message of this. So though the attack is there, everything is there, but your calculation is of utmost important. So here, black was Chigorin, the great Russian master from the 19th century, and white was Lee. And white thought that, oh, I have got a shot, tactical shot. Rook takes g7, rook takes g7, rook takes g7, king takes g7, queen h2 check, and I'm going to pick up the rook. I'm going to pick up the h3 rook. Right? That is what is white's idea.
And then rook g3.
Rook g3, then
Knight
pawn
g3.
takes g3.
So knight g3 check.
No. What? Black.
Knight g. Knight g3 check.
Exactly. So white was planning to win back the rook very elegantly and one pawn ahead, but instead knight to g3 check. And now what do you do? Now bishop.
King has to move. Oh wait, no.
G3, bishop takes g3. Queen could not have taken g3. Pawn could not have taken on g3. So bishop takes g3. But now momentarily, now there is no check on the king. Right? It is not a check. So black uses this to defend his rook. Okay. Now if you see, now unless white is able to force something, now actually in this endgame, black is better because he has got a rook versus a bishop. Right? So white tries desperately, bishop to h4 check, but rook comes to g6. Bishop f6 check. King to f7. Okay, so now it is now it is the game of nerves now, because clearly in the end game black is better, but how to reach an end game? As long as the queens are on the board, it is not easy to force the game. But white helps. White helps by playing queen to f3, and king to black king improves his position. Black king is now in a very good position and ready for the end game, because in the end game you remember the kings have to be in the center, right? So black is now preparing to exchange the queens, and so white does some little bit of a threat. Okay, it is a threat because the pawn is pinned against the queen and pawn cannot move, and then it is attacked twice. So what does black do? But it is not really. I mean, black says okay, if you want to take my pawn and exchange the queens off, I am very happy, because pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, and now the queen exchange of queens will be forced, and after that it is all white. Black is going to win it, right? I mean, black can win by sacrificing the rook for the bishop and then taking up all the pawns, or even directly the king can come to the queen side and win all the pawns. So whatever white's plan was there, it has come completely awry now. It is not happening. Into b7. Okay, still defending the pawn on d5, but coming on to the open fight. And then white plays this, but white does not realize how completely gone his position is, because now queen to b1, and white had to resign. Why did white have to resign?
Because king h2 and then queen g2.
Queen g1 check, king to h3, then queen to g4 check, forcing the exchange of the queens. Queen to g4, queen takes g4, f takes g4 with a check, followed by h5. Black is having a supported passed pawn, and then black is going to clean up the remaining things, right? I mean, he can win the what do you call it? He can sacrifice the bishop for the rook for the bishop and take up the pawns and then just clean up. And black has got a supported passed pawn on g4. That is why it is over. Game is over. Okay, because it is completely over now after this. So such things happen. So you have to calculate properly. Yeah, this is a slightly this example, but can you see? Don't look at the solution and just see what is the. So I mean, sometimes even though all the position is everything is there, but king safety is important. And here the black king is not safe.
If there's some way to bring a queen on the h file.
Yep.
G3.
G3.
Wait, so mate is unstoppable, right?
Yep.
I mean, you can't do anything.
Unless you give up, no, there is nothing.
You can't do anything because the pawns just block any piece.
No, you can do only by giving up a minor piece. Sorry, giving up an exchange, because see,
you can play rook.
No, you can't.
No,
You can't.
You can't do anything. It's just forced mate in 1 or 2. Sorry, because all the pawns just block.
There's absolutely no way. You are right. Even if you sacrifice a rook, it is not helping in any way.
How would you sacrifice a rook? How would you sacrifice a rook?
No, I'm saying rook to f7 or something like that also is not helping you, because the mate threat continues.
Yeah.
The knight cannot come anywhere, queen cannot. There is absolutely nothing. It is just over. Right? Quiet move. This is called as a quiet move. Quiet move, but finishes. Yeah. Okay. So I think that was a good tour of all of these things, especially with attack against the king. right? In almost all these cases, I think the attack was against the king. So, and when there is a forceful continuation possible, you have to find it, calculate it well, and if it works, then you have to execute it. All right. So with the same now theme, we will move on to these positions. So
Another 10 minutes or so it will be.
yep. Within 10 minutes, we'll finish it now. So look at this position, first position, white to move.
Knight F7.
Knight F6.
Yeah, knight f6 check.
Knight f6 check, g takes f6,
Then E takes F6.
E takes F6.
e takes f6,
Then bishop g7.
and then bishop to b7, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, bishop to b7.
Bishop to b7. Then
Yeah, what then? There's nothing there.
there are two moves that I can see for black. One is bishop to b7, other one is h5.
Yeah,
Or-
h5 works.
h5 works, right?
Yeah.
So first let us look at bishop to b7.
Okay, wait. After knight, after pawn takes f6, how about rook d6?
Rook where?
Rook d6.
No.
Oh yeah, sorry. Rook d3.
No. I think you have got it wrong. See, knight
It's
takes
black's move.
knight f6 first check. G takes f6 is forced because otherwise.
Yeah, and then rook d3.
Rook d3, huh?
Yeah.
Rook d3.
Is there
Rook
any way
d3,
to
then queen takes d3.
then queen takes d3?
Probably, I'm not sure. But wait, g takes f3, rook to d3. Rook to d3.
If queen takes d3, then just white queen takes d3.
Yeah, but is it after that? Is it
It seems to be
then
winning. I mean,
f
white's
takes e5? Then f takes e5 after that, right? So then there is no mate threat or something, and it is going to become queen and rook versus two rooks and bishop. So it is not like a easy win. So I think you are right. I think the other continuation is correct. Knight to f6, g takes f6, e takes f6. Okay, what is the threat of e takes f6? Queen to
queen
f8.
takes queen takes
Queen to
f8.
f8, king takes f8, and rook to d8 checkmate. That is what is the threat, right? So you can either play bishop to. What happened? Can you see me? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, so knight f6, g takes f6, e takes f6. If h5, then queen g3 check, followed by queen to g7 checkmate. If bishop to b7, then also queen to g3 check, followed by queen to g7 check.
Okay, yeah, the queen can go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
a forced mate.
you can't do any. How about rook to after e takes?
Rook to e8.
Yeah, rook to e8.
But queen to g3 check.
King f8.
Huh?
Oh yeah. The pawn blocks both ways.
Queen
Yeah.
again is checkmate. Pawn is there, right? Pawn is like
Yeah.
it is like the neck is held of the king. holding the king by the neck. So
Yeah, so it's basically forced.
it is practically it is forced. There's nothing that black can do. Just forced sequence of moves. It is in line with what we just now saw. Right, and by now I think everybody should be now familiar with and should be ready to do all this analysis in the mind, just visualizing it. We will not have to put it on the analysis board unless it is really complicated. This is a really simple. This is quite simple too, actually. So we should.
It isn't forced.
Why knight f6 then?
Knight f6. Black takes with the pawn.
Yeah.
And then white takes with the pawn.
And then white takes. And then queen takes rook. Like queen takes f1.
Queen takes f1. Yeah.
Rook takes f1.
No. King takes f1.
Then bishop h6.
Wait, so why wouldn't rook takes f1 work?
Yeah. It's okay. Bishop takes. Wait. Bishop a6 check, right? Bishop a6 check.
Oh yeah, bishop h6.
Bishop a6 check. King to e1.
And then you move your king.
Where?
Where? You can't move your king. The only place you can go is
h8.
king h8. Yeah, and then queen slides back.
But then.
Oh, okay, yeah. That you can move your rook, but then that's still. Couldn't you do it?
Yeah, I think I think it is correct. I mean, by sacrificing the queen, you have managed to hold on to the mate. I think you can play. I mean, the game is lost, but you have played. I think you are right. It is not.
Wait.
Mate is not forced after that.
Wait, sir. After Okay, you can't stop both the threats at once. Never mind.
Yeah. It is not immediate mate, though the game is completely lost. Right. So then, okay, but then wait. I think let us see this. Knight f6, g takes f6, e takes f6, queen f1, rook takes f1. Now I like this idea by whoever. Was that Abhinav or this one? So
Yeah, that was.
Rook takes f1.
I'm still threatening now to, but there is no threat of a check. Now one threat, now king to h8. King to h8 is the right.
Yeah, king to h8, or you can also play.
No, wait, how does how does that work? Because then queen just takes f.
You cannot do
queen takes f8 checkmate.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't move the bishop with check, so you can't.
Oh, okay. Then you can play.
What we are just to reiterate: knight f6, g takes f6, e takes f6, queen f1 check, rook to f1. Now black to play.
You cannot stop both.
Now, how about e5?
E5. E5. Yeah, e5. Then
rook back to e1. Okay, wait, no. Then that you just.
No. I think it is right. Now he is going to prevent it, because if queen takes e5, then king to h8. Okay, king to h8. So
okay, yeah, that way it is.
But there is a way that white can win a rook. So if e5, then queen takes e5, then what do you play?
Then king h8.
King h8.
King h8, then queen e4 will pick up the rook, because you don't have.
Okay, yeah, no, then rook g8.
Then you can play rook to b1, and then queen to g4. Then you can play rook to g1. Sorry, g8. Queen to rook to b8. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's good. You prevent the mate, but yeah, I mean it is.
It's still losing.
It's losing, but
wait. But then don't you give up a rook and a knight for a queen?
Because this way you should play it, especially in a game, because there is a time. So white was like thinking that he's going to checkmate, but
Wait, sir. In the previous position,
yeah,
don't you give up a knight and a rook for a queen?
yeah, you have given up not. I mean, you have given up a knight and a rook for a queen, and but in the end game it is too powerful. I mean, the queen is
Yeah,
much.
but then how is that much different from the rook d3 variation, where you still end up with a rook and a knight for a queen?
Well, black's queen is gone, right?
Yeah, in either variation, black's queen is exchanged off for
Yep,
a knight and a rook.
I would say it is similar. Knight f6, what did you say? Knight f6, g takes f6, and then rook to d3.
Rook d3.
Rook to d3.
Oh wait, no, that wouldn't work because that wouldn't work because then
Queen takes
queen
f.
takes f1, king takes f1, and then bishop a6.
Bishop
But
a6 is a terrible thing, right? I mean, so yeah, I think that is why it is. Okay, all right. Let's come to the second position. It is white to play. Again, similar theme is very similar. I think you should be able to get it. Theme is similar to what we said.
There are two queens.
White queen is on h2, black queen is on g6. White to play.
Because you said the theme is similar in two
h4, h4.
Nope, not h4.
I'm thinking rook takes b8.
Yeah, rook takes b8, king takes b8.
And then I don't know.
So queen takes e5 check.
Queen takes e5 check. F takes
Okay, yeah, and then you get yeah.
And then back knight.
rook f8, and then black.
Wait,
If
how? What if the king just goes back?
where? First of all, rook takes b8 check.
Yeah,
King
king
b8.
takes b8,
Queen takes e5.
king c8.
King c8, then queen c7 checkmate.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's okay. So it's just forced. Like black cannot do anything.
King goes to a8 also, then the rook comes to a1 and it is checkmate.
Yeah.
So f
What
queen
if king goes to d7?
when first only.
When?
Yeah, after rook takes knight.
Yeah, rook takes knight. Queen can king can come to d7 up front. That is the
But
best.
then,
But
yeah,
then rook takes b7 again.
yeah, rook takes pawn, and then you have a passed pawn and a rook up. So like, there's no way you're winning. There's no way you're not winning that game.
Yeah, there is no way you're not winning. It is. Matlab, black. I mean, if he, there is no way that black can even afford to. I mean, he is losing definitely after that. If he gives up the knight and then a pawn, another, and then 2 steps away from queening, passed pawns supported, it is anyway gone. So realistically, black has to take on b8, but then queen takes e5 finishes it off completely. Right? Again, forceful moves, very forceful. Good. So that is that. So with that, we will stop this week's